Unexpected error occurred because it cannot be found. So it's pretty clear, in a lot of cases, what bad user experience and bad usability are. It's poor usability, the UI is inconsistent, there are cryptic error messages, as we saw there, confusing instructions, and there's just a poor organization of your content. It's not an intuitive fashion. Again, it's based on what the user's intuition is, not your intuition. And then the final thing, or actually one final thing, poor visual hierarchy. What are the most important things you want to lead your users to? When you show them the web page, their eye follows a certain path, a certain hierarchy of the page. And how do you want to lead them? Not just slap text on a page or slap image on a page, just because there's a hole there. And then the final item on there is you've just plain failed to meet the user's needs. The users need something, it's not on your site, or it's broken, or for whatever reason, those user needs aren't met. And that means a bad user experience. And it's bad for your brand, so bad dog. What is a good user experience? Pretty much the opposite of all those things. A consistent interface paradigm, navigational design, and that's something that Joomla has afforded for years. Site objectives meet the user's needs. The interaction design facilitates the user task. The user's trying to accomplish a task, and the site helps them do that in the easiest way possible. The interaction design, again, same thing. What's the shortest path for me to do a checkout, and the easiest way for me to do it? Sexy and functional visual design. And all that equals a good user experience, good brand, good dog. If you haven't noticed, that's my dog. And she's been kind of wandering around the conference yesterday. So her name's Maddie. So my wife said I had to incorporate her in the presentation. So I just want to run through really quick the Joomla interface navigation. If we break it down, you can kind of break down, if this were sort of a wireframe, you can break down the different areas of the page and how they actually help the user accomplish a task. At the top, it's the navigation. Here's your signpost. It tells you where you are on the site. Over there are little status items. Here's your action bar. You got your content filter, which affects the content in the center of the page. And then you've got your content actions in there, your navigation on the bottom. When we went to 1.5, you see that there's not a whole lot that changed. The signpost changed because the signpost in 1.0 was huge. And so that became more efficient on vertical space. But a lot of things were the same in there. And then as we move forward to Joomla 1.6, a lot of the things are very much the same. So between 1.0 and 1.6 is not really a drastic departure in about 5 years of the interface. Now there's good aspects of that, and there's bad aspects of that. You know, as over a period of time, your interface starts to grow and you have more features, you've got to find a place to put them, and you don't want to change things too much because you don't want to have the learning curve be too steep for new users or people that are upgrading. But now, we're going to formalize this a little bit more. We're going to jump ahead to the future. No, my wife didn't ask me to incorporate this one. So I'm going to outline 5 key tenets today, and the very quick ones, for the Joomla user experience. And these are things to consider if you're a developer and developing your extensions, and there are big things that we're going to try to consider for moving forward with the Joomla interface and crafting that experience. Number 1, major media. Give your users an intuitive way to share, embed, manipulate different types of media. Site services, seamlessly integrated, YouTube, Remixer, people are editing videos and editing photos all online. There's no reason why we shouldn't help site admins do that stuff. You're a site admin, you're not real cool, you're not real adept at Photoshop, you've got this huge image. You don't want to drop that whole thing in your page. We want to just upload it to your server, size it, crop it, do whatever, have it drop on the page automatically. And you should be able to use any one of these services to do that. Point number 2, flexibility. Have the maximum flexibility possible in the process of creating and managing your content, managing the interaction flows that your users will follow. One of the ideas behind this is the idea of a page creator. If you create a site in Joomla, you know you can have a great disconnect between menu items and modules and where those belong and how you compile it all together to assemble your page. A visual page creator to drop all that stuff into like buckets would be a great way to avoid having that disconnect. Point number 3, get personal. Now this is something that could be a really powerful thing. We need to recognize that it's different strokes for different folks. So the concept of group templates. How can we create templates for different types of user groups? In 1.6, the ACL allows you to have custom groups with custom users and custom permissions. We can have a content creator log in, submit his content, like a magazine, like a newspaper. You can have somebody log in, a newspaper reporter, submit their article. You have a photographer submit their photos with that article with all of the separate interface. And then the publisher would go in, and the editor would go in and have their interface. It would all be customized based on the group that you're in. And that way, you wouldn't have any extraneous information. Sample content. Again, we try to do some of this in 1.6. We'll probably do better with 1.7. Sample content and sample templates that are geared towards specific segments, nonprofits, education, corporate. Number 4, mobile. We got to get more mobile stuff. We got more and more people are managing their Joomla sites on phones, iPads, and so on. So we need to be a little bit more mobile friendly because the UI is different. You on the iPhone, you have to tap twice if you want to tap once. And so we need to think about how those paradigms map to the Joomla administrator interface. And then the final point, then mobile apps. Official Joomla apps for managing your website for administrators to make your life easy. And then finally, number 5, fight the simple. Now I have a really, really big problem with this, and it's a shame that somebody isn't here who's a big proponent of it. But the idea that you have to tuck away everything that the user doesn't need to see, you need to hide everything that they don't need, is a bad school of thought. You need to be stripping away the interface to a minimum, choosing simple UI over elements over usable ones. Go away from the light. Do it. Just do it. That means that you don't choose those things. It's not about tucking away everything inside and hiding the buttons until they're needed. It's not about stripping away everything out of the interface so the minimal elements are there. It is, however, about structuring the UI in a way that is intelligent and makes sense and groups like elements. So, recap. The 5 tenets of the Joomla user experience. Get personal. We talked about that, personal and group templates and those kinds of things. Flexibility, getting more flexibility for site administrators to be able to do the tasks they want to do, like page creator and things like that. Getting more into mobile, allowing administrators to manage their websites, make changes, possibly even build websites on a mobile device. The 4th one is adding more media support, and then fight the simple. Fight the concept that everything has to be dirt simple, or to be dirt simple, everything has to be stripped away and disappeared. That's my presentation, I think. All right. Great stuff. Thank you, Ron.